As mentioned before, Japan deployed biological weapons that greatly reduced the fighting capacities of U.S. Army in the Pacific Campaign, which propelled the U.S. to realize the importance of biological weapons.
Proceed in the discharge of my responsibilities with justice and tolerance.
Among the war criminals prosecuted during the trial held by the International Military Tribunal for the Far East, there were as many as 5,000 Japanese soldiers who flagrantly violated the international conventions and participated in the chemical and germ warfare in China. Those criminals also involved in the research, production, and usage of the germ and chemical weapons, including grievously inhuman experiments of the living. However, for the purpose of creating bargaining chips to circumvent the judgment, Shiro Ishii and 20 other experts of germ warfare choose to cooperate with the US and provide intelligence on germ warfare. They submitted vital biochemical research findings to the US, which included the monograph 20 years of research experiences in germ warfare at various stages, and other experimental conclusions with detailed data. As an exchange, Ishii and other germ warfare experts were spared from the punishment on war criminals. Meanwhile, at the end of 1942, the U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt officially approved the U.S. Biological Weapons Program, which aimed to construct novel weapons with bioengineering technologies in a span of 20 years. On April 15, 1943, the construction of a germ warfare research base began in Fort Detrick, Maryland, and the project was finished in November.
The volunteers had been positioned in cubicles on the outside of the test sphere, a hollow steel ball 40 feet in diameter.
First batch of research results included anthrax, botulinum, tularemia, quarry fever, Venezuela equine encephalitis, and renal disease, all of which became deeply impactful. After World War II, the U.S. took in numerous biology scientists from Japan, Germany, and other vanquished countries. The development of U.S. biological weapons started booming. In 1950, during the Korean War, the U.S. for the first time deployed biological weapons in actual combat. In 1962, under the presidency of John F. Kennedy, Project 112 was initiated during the Cold War. The U.S. used mass biological weapons during the Vietnam War, which turned into the worst nightmare for the Vietnamese that ravaged the local environment and the health of civilians with long-term adverse impacts. Up to this day, the U.S. still refuses to join the Biological Weapons Convention and the Chemical Weapons Convention. The U.S. continued to develop mass-destructive biochemical weapons, constructed multiple P4 level virus labs around the world, and secretly conducted experiments of biochemical and genetic weapons, which often turned into the focus of controversies in the international community.